Hello everyone, and welcome to my BTG official channel. Kat comes across Leslie mounting Ted on his desk when Hayley and Randy plan to kill Bill in order to collect his life insurance payout. Hayley informed Randy that it was time to knock Bill down after she saw Danny kiss Bill. Andre has decided that he wants Danny to stay with him in Uptown. She feels relieved by that. She was unsure which direction he was leaning. He went to Ted to talk about it, but Ashley came up to him and made him realize that whatever they had is over. He inquires whether she wishes to return to Bill. She is perplexed as to why he is questioning her dedication. He believes Hayley is still after him and admits that she was there. Danny asserts that she is simply projecting. Andre inquires if she just saw Bill. She admits that she brought a birthday present to her ex. It belonged to last year. Andre doesn't like this. It's clear that Bill is getting to her. He can see that man hasn't let go of her hold. Danny says she wants them to get married. He wants more from her closet than just space. He longs for room in her heart. She tells him that Bill is the past and asks him to move in. He agrees, but he will keep his apartment. Caroline talks about depositions when she stops by Bill's office. They discuss Danny's visit with a birthday present. Caroline is skeptical that Hayley will be pleased about it. He suggests that they keep this private. They discuss Hayley's shrewdness. Caroline reasserts his love for his wife and the fact that Danny has been attempting to make their marriage solely about her. She tells him to wake up and not let Hayley get away from him. He admits he needed to hear that. When he saw Hayley, he was aware that he was in trouble and that he needed Danny that day. He thought that was it when they got together. He was content to give up everything for her. However, he has recently felt like he has lost his edge. He is urged to choose a partner by Caroline. He considers that. When Hayley sees Randy at the casino, she tells him that they need to cut Bill's legs off. She's on him, but he's still treating her like a prize. That man has never been her love. The whole marriage is hard work, but his ex-wife is trying to get back with him as they get close to taking everything he has. Hayley believes that sleeping with that man earned her a medal. They think back to the other men they conned. She marries them, drains their accounts, and disappears. She wished she had targeted Joey rather than these Fairmont Crest residents, whose indignity she had never anticipated. Hayley was under the impression that Danny was merely a runway relic, but it turns out that she is a cockroach who will not leave. Before Danny decides that she wants Bill back, they need to get the money she has worked so hard for. She is urged not to doubt the plan by her cousin. They repeat that she has twice feigned pregnancy and that Bill has been infected with the baby bug. He started contributing to a fund for college as a result. In an effort to undermine this, Danny has been whispering in her ex's ear. She only managed to stop the suspicions by faking the miscarriage. They recall the time when Randy was required to procure a bucket of blood for the ruse. He claims there are advantages to being Joey's right hand. He disguised himself as a good Samaritan to drive her to the hospital and smuggled the blood into the Uptown bathroom. Bill was unaware of the baby's departure, and everyone else felt guilty. They must now concentrate on her disappearance. They examine one of her counterfeit IDs. She declares that Bill ought to have a special birthday present. She acknowledges that Bill is having vid sex, but she still wants her payment. Randy believes that they must rush it. Hayley intends to do more than just drain him. She says, Bill Hamilton must die. She explains that he has a $10 million life insurance policy with her as the beneficiary, despite his assertion that that is not what they do. She is worn out from the hustle of the men. Her final and best grift is here. They discuss how to accomplish this. She asserts that they will not fail. It must appear natural. She requires him to procure poison for her. He will carry it out. She reassures him that he will receive his pay and that she will leave the country. He calls for the poison as soon as he leaves. Hayley apologizes to Bill for their fight when she returns home. Can he forget about her? He does, and he informs her that Caroline woke him up. He meant everything they said in their vows. She says, "Till death do us part." Hayley's smile was a practiced thing, the sort of bright, slow grin that had raked in husbands and cash like a fisherman's net, but that night it was edged with something harder, a glint that told Randy she was finished playing the long con and ready to cash out in a way that would leave no loose ends. She told him, cool as a woman choosing a dress, that after seeing Bill and Danny kiss she'd reached the point where knocking him down wasn't enough. Bill had to be taken out of the picture entirely so that the $10 million policy with Hayley named as beneficiary could finally be claimed and she could vanish with a life that wasn't measured in hurried goodbyes and staged miscarriages. Randy, leveling a cigarette between his fingers, laughed at first, not because he thought she was joking but because the audacity of her plan fit the voice in his head that had been fed by years of small-time heists and big-time arrogance. He reminded her they were con artists, not murderers, but Hayley had grown tired of rehearsed sobs, of faking the shape of a future to make a husband cough up cash, tired of pretending to love men who were merely useful props. They sifted through memories like a couple of thieves dividing spoils, the bucket of blood Randy had once procured, the hijinks in Uptown's bathrooms, the way Hayley could make a courtroom-worthy wail look like pure, unscripted grief, all the little atrocities that never left a permanent mark on anyone but paid bills and bought plane tickets. Yet what they recalled, in a soft, conspiratorial cadence, was less the mechanics and more the moral flexibility that had allowed them to walk away from other people's lives as if they were just old coats, fold them, and sell them at a higher price. That ease with breaking other people had become a dangerous habit, and now Hayley wanted to break the biggest thing in her life, Bill Hamilton himself. Meanwhile the rest of their crooked, self-justifying small universe kept spinning with messy, human complications. Danny, still tender and painfully hopeful, met Andre at Uptown where he, tempted by the possibility of building a life that finally felt true, told her he wanted them to stay married, a relief for Danny who had been teetering on the uncertain ledge between two men and a dozen versions of herself. And when he ran into Ashley and felt the finality of whatever they'd had fade, he asked Danny bluntly whether she wanted him back. The conversation laying bare how jealousies and old attachments could undermine the very sanctity they were trying to secure. Danny admitted to visiting Bill with a belated birthday present, a small, human gesture from a past year, and Andre, who saw how Bill's shadow still stretched across her life, demanded more than physical proximity. He wanted space in her heart, not just in her closet, and when she begged him to move in with her and promised Bill was a closed book he agreed to keep his condo just in case. Because practical men in these stories always hedge their bets. Caroline, who dropped by Bill's office to fuss over depositions like someone arranging flowers on a table before the guests arrive, noticed Danny's name on the tip of conversation and warned Bill that Hayley wouldn't be pleased. Bill, who had been wrestling with what Caroline called a wake-up call, realized the stakes were higher than any petty domestic spat. He loved Danny more than he'd admitted, yet the magnetic pull back to his wife, Hayley's complex, performative hold, was not something he could simply will away. He confessed to Caroline that he felt like he'd lost his edge, that being with Hayley had once felt like a surrender that gave him peace but lately left him hollow. Caroline, brutal where she had to be.